How much money is enough for a Canadian visitor's visa? Many people want to apply for a visitor's visa to Canada, but they don't know how much they need to have in their bank account when they are applying. For those that are facing that challenge, this video is for you. So there's no fixed amount that you must have in your bank account when you're applying for a Canada visa, but there are so many things you need to consider in deciding how much you should have in your account. So the visa officer did not say this is the exact amount you should have. Like for example, like when you are doing permanent residence, there's a fixed amount per family members and all of that they talk about. If you are coming here on a student visa, there's a fixed amount that you must. There's a minimum amount you must show. But for a tourist visa, a visitor's visa, there's no fixed amount. But there's a way you can calculate that. So what you need to do is simple. One, how many days will you be spending in Canada? You should know that someone that will spend 6 months in Canada would need to show more funds than someone spending just 2 weeks in Canada. So if you are staying in an hotel for 6 months, you should calculate that. If you are coming for 2 weeks, calculate how much you would pay for an hotel for 2 weeks. And it's so easy. Go online, go to all these bookings, all these hotel bookings and all of that online. Check, make a reservation, see how much that is, write it down. Now, the next thing you want to talk about is your flight tickets. You're going to travel from your country of origin to Canada. How much is the tickets that you're going to use to come to Canada? So go to any of the ticketing agencies, look at, go to their websites, book a ticket for you to have an idea. So you've gotten two down, accommodation is sorted out. We've also gotten ticket fee. Now, apart from those two things, you also want to take care of yourself when you're in Canada. So when you're in Canada, you're going to eat, you're going to move around and do one or two things. So feeding allowance, calculate it. How much do you spend per day? How much will you spend per day? If you are an heavy eater, it might be $100 to $200, it depends. And if you are not, it can be less than $50. It depends on what you want to buy. So just look at it, do an estimate. If you use $50, between 50 and 100, if you're a moderate person, you should be able to, that should be fine. Calculate that, multiply it by the number of days you want to stay, and write it down. Now, there will also be miscellaneous expenses. You want to show up, you want to go out, you want to visit one or two places and all of that, you know. Now, this is for one person. So if you are coming with your family, you need to calculate this for each of your family members, because it's not just you alone. You have to calculate that for each of your family members. So when you sum everything up, whatever you come up with is the minimum you can ever have. Minimum. You cannot have less than that. But the fact is, having the minimum will not help your application. Yeah, having the minimum will not help your application. It's better for you to show much more than the minimum. So if you have double of the minimum, better. If you have 3 times of the minimum, that's better than that is better than you having just twice. And if you have 3 times the minimum, best. If you have 4 times the minimum, excellent. And on like that. So the more money you have compared to the minimum amount that you need to show is what you need to show in your bank account for your visa application. If you show anything less than the minimum, obviously your visa will likely be refused. Showing the minimum is not advisable, but if that's what you have, well, you can still show that at least you can show. Because the fact is, if you are traveling for vacation, you won't spend all your funds on holiday. You need to have some money that you're going to come back to when you return. So those are things that visa officers look at, that, oh, this person is spending all his savings, everything on vacation. At the end of the day, when he comes back, he may not have any money, and that will likely mean that he will not return. So don't let them think that you didn't plan your vacation well. Save enough funds, do this analysis, and use that to have an idea of the minimum that you need. And after that, work to have much more than the minimum. It's better to have much more than just to have the bare minimum. And it's not even good at all if what you have is just the minimum. If you want to come to Canada, you want to study in Canada, you want to visit Canada, you want to migrate to Canada, you want to invest in Canada, you can reach out to me. My number is +1 587 568 6124.